Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft episode. In fact, the last episode, episode number 50 of our Cutting Down Every Tree challenge. As you can see in front of me, this is the last tree on the entire map. I did a brief flyover in creative mode beforehand just to make sure that I'd gotten every single tree and piece of wood elsewhere. And sure enough, that flyover, I had to go around and get a few stragglers, and you can see that at the end of the last video actually. But now we are fully squared away, and this is the last tree on the map. It's been a crazy journey so far. You can see now that the map is brown with lots of green specks, which is just all of this stuff here, and whatever, green dirt blocks remain sort of on the map. But yeah, this right here is the last tree, so I guess without further ado, let me just do this real quick. Yeah, you can see right here this birch and oak log. That was from where I had to go elsewhere. But yeah, let's move this here and we will cut down the final block. And that is it, folks. That is the last tree on this map. And so now I'll head over to the base, which is just a short distance over there, and I'll start to, go over all of the chests, all of the wood that we have. But yeah, that's the last piece of wood. So thank you to everyone who's been here through the whole thing. Thank you to those who are here for this last video. It's a pretty monumental moment. And it's been quite a long time. I'll have to look exactly when I start editing and putting the video together, but yeah, just thanks again for being there through the journey, and I don't know what's next to come. I'll probably take a little bit of a break since I grinded so hard for this, but yeah, I'll head over to the base and we'll get started on doing like a summary of everything that happened. Alright everyone, so we're back at base, and for the first thing we'll count up is the fences. I've already gone through and done it. There are 37 fence posts and 1 fence gate, and instead of going through and trying to calculate this all on my own and risk inaccuracies, I just went on the resourcecalculator.com, used Minecraft, and so I'll link that in the description below as well. But yeah, in order to get the 37 posts and 1 gate, it required 16 total logs. You may be wondering why there's a fence here that's empty, and that is because I used to have cows there, needed them for the bookshelves for the enchantment table. But yeah, 16 logs for the fence. Okay, so as you can see here in my inventory, what I did quickly was just pulled out all of the things in these first 3 chests, which were my sort of like storage chests here. I just pulled everything out that I made that was out of wood. So these bows, I didn't make. This fishing rod I didn't make, but everything else, oh, almost forgot these torches. Everything else I just kind of pulled out these things that had wood that went into them, just to make sure I included them in the count. Whether or not I'll go through, I probably will at least try to get a rough estimate. I'll lowball it obviously of how much wood went into actually making pickaxes, or axes I mean, because all of the axes I used were Unbreaking 3 Efficiency 4, and I imagine there's a website or some sort of thing out there that says how many wood blocks that actually lasts for. And then once we go through all of these chests and get the total amount of wood that is in all the chests, then I should be able to do like a quick little calculation of just how many axes approximately went into getting all of these. So yeah, I'll just go through all these chests quick, just make sure they all have 64s. This one has a 44, so I'll have to make sure I take that into account. That's all 64s. This is all 64s. 64s. I'm really just looking for things that aren't spruce. because those would be the things that wouldn't have 64s in them. But so far so good. There's a 26 here, so we have a 26 and a 44. All of those are good. All of those are good. All of those are good. So there's a 26 and a 44, something like that. Obviously, I'll go back through and double check. But all of these chests, as you can see, and feel free, if you really want to, you can pause the video at every double chest, but all of these are 64s. Every single one of them. So yeah, I'll just keep going through all these. I'll go back and count them all up. We can count them up after I open them all up, but just once again double checking. It's amazing how many 64s of wood you don't realize there are until you go through them all. Okay, so this right here is the last chest I used. There's a 43, a 10, a 5, and some extra birch planks, which really just means there's 6 here. So I'll factor those in as well. But other than that, these are 4 empty chests I had made just in case. But minus this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 full chests there, and since this is the third one and they're the same, that means there's 16 full chests here, or 17 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, my basic math skills almost eluded me there. So 17 plus 20 is 37 rows, or 37 full double chests here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So another 16 here. So we're up to 53. And then I'll take the sum of these and then subtract 2, since we know there are 2 of them that don't have a full 64. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another 13 minus 2 is 11. So we have 64. Would you look at that? 64 total chests of 64s. That's just beautiful, isn't it? To have 64 chests of 64s. So yeah, that's how many chests we have. And then I'll have to get what, goes into the crafting table, how much it costs me to make the bookshelves, and then obviously make sure I properly account for the couple stragglers that didn't quite have full 64s in some of these chests. So yeah, I will be right back and we'll do a full calculation of those, and that'll pretty much be the end of the video. Alright everyone, so I just went through and made a little creative copy of as you can see it says create in survival mode. So I went through and made a creative copy of the actual challenge world. So while I'm going through and giving all of the calculations, I'll do a flyover of the world just to show how, we did it. We completed the challenge. There's not a single tree left. There's still some straggling leaves, as you can see there. But yeah, just wanted to, while I was giving the calculations, giving you something to look at that wasn't just like a screenshot or, the base. I figured why not do the flyover, not only to show proof, but also just to show the magnitude of, what we accomplished with this challenge. Alright, so what we'll start with is the chest. So there were a total of 71 double chests that were used for wood blocks, which is a total of 142 chests. Additionally, I actually had some chests created where my mob spawner was that I used to XP farm, so I could, replenish my axes, not have to make a new axe every single time one broke. I was just able to replenish them. But yeah, so there were an additional 2 chests in my XP farm as well. So in total, we have an additional 146 chests, which equals 292 spruce logs, or whatever other logs I use. But regardless, 292 total logs went into making all of the double chests. Next, I'll get into some of the miscellaneous stuff. So I ended up using 15 bookshelves as well as 2 crafting tables in total in the series, and for both of those things combined, we needed 25 logs for the 2 crafting tables and 15 bookshelves. So we can add that to our previous number, and we have a total of 317 logs. And you know what? Let's throw in our 16 logs from earlier for our fences, and so now we have a clean 333 logs total that have went into our challenge so far. Alright, so next we'll do the miscellaneous items that I showed at the beginning of the video. If you want, you can go back to double check my math. But what I had as miscellaneous items was 1 iron hoe, an iron sword, 6 axes, 3 shovels, 8 sticks, 44 torches, and a bed. And those things in total required 42 logs. And so adding that, we are now up to 375 logs. Not to mention, there's also a lot of torches that I used while mining that we'll never know how many were actually down there, nor do I feel the need to go down and check. That's probably a rather minuscule number. Because now we're going to get into the fun stuff, which is how many total logs I cut down, plus I'll be able to take the average amount of blocks that a diamond axe with Unbreaking 3 can chop down, and we can get a lowball estimate to get the entire picture for how many total logs we cut down in this challenge. Okay, so to start the math off, each double chest can hold 54 inventory slots. And in each of those 54 inventory slots, we had 64 wood blocks. And since we had 64 double chests with all of the inventory slots filled, the total number of logs that are in those chests is 221,184 logs. Nearly 250,000 logs is in all of those double chests that you just saw right there. Nearly 250,000 logs. That's an absurd amount of logs. And I'm interested to see when I go through and do it here in a few minutes how long it actually takes. I can just probably look up how much time it takes for an efficiency 4 axe to break a wood log, and then if I times that by the amount of blocks, I'll actually get, a real low ball estimate, because it doesn't take into account the travel time. But just how much actual cutting time in hours I did of all of those wood blocks. So now let's add our 221,184 wood blocks to our previous 375, and we get 221,559. But that's not all of the wood blocks that were in those chests. No, if you remember, we had 2 chests that were completely full except for 2 different slots, and the total for those chests is 228,363. If we add those miscellaneous wood logs to our current total, we have 228,497 because there were a total of 134 miscellaneous logs, and then the one double chest didn't have 63, it had 40 extra slots. So in total wood blocks that are currently in chests, we have 231,057 wood logs. What a crazy amount of logs. It's actually unbelievable. I knew it was going to be a high number, but I didn't realize, you know, just how many wood blocks that actually is. So two more things here before we end the video and wrap up our challenge. I wanted to first go through and see how many axes total we used. And so we had 231,057 logs total so far. If we divide that by 6,248, which is the approximate value for how long an axe with Unbreaking 4 lasts, we get 36.98, so basically 37 axes, which adds an additional 9 logs, whoop-de-doo, to our total. So we have a total now of 231,065 logs with those 9 logs added. And then last but not least, I wanted to know how much like actual, you know, I'll call it mining time we did, how much time it actually took to cut down all the blocks. So this is a lowball estimate because what I did is I found a subreddit for Minecraft, and someone did an experiment and found that it takes approximately 6.45 seconds to mine 15 logs. And so if we do a simple calculation, we take our 231,665 logs, excuse me, we times that by 6.45 seconds, we divide it by 15 for the amount of logs per, you know, to get the rate, and then we divide it by 60 because that's how many seconds are in a minute, divide it by 60 again because that's how many minutes are in an hour, and we get a total of 27.599, or basically 27.6 hours just of mining time. That doesn't even take into account, you know, the time it took me to go from tree to tree, all of the time it took me to go to and from the base. None of that. It doesn't take into account of that. So there was just, at minimum, 27.6 hours that I spent just the action of cutting down the logs alone. Truly remarkable. I really didn't realize that it would take this long. But what a fun challenge it was, and you know, just grateful, appreciative of all the support we've had so far. It's been a long journey. I think it's been nearly 2.5 years since I actually started the challenge, and so to get through to this point and finally be done, it's, you know, it's a relief, but it was also really fun. Mind-numbing at times, but overall, you know, I did something that nobody else has ever done. Maybe someone else has been able to get, you know, a world with like 25 trees on it or something, I don't know, and they can say they mined all of the trees in a Minecraft map first, but nobody has ever in a single map mined over 200,000, let alone the 231,000 logs that I mined. And so that's something I'm pretty proud of. I think that's something that's really, really cool. And I just want to thank everyone who has been a part of the journey so far. It was a really special thing, and who knows what we'll do next, but, you know, what a great challenge. So thanks again for watching the video. I know it's a long one, but there was a lot to go over. We finished the challenge. And I just want to thank everyone for watching this video, watching any of the other videos. I had wanted to do like a flyover of what the map looked like at the very beginning, but unfortunately I couldn't get the seed to generate an identical map. So if you haven't already, feel free to go back to video 1 and you can get a pretty good idea of what the map used to look like before it does now. But yeah, just thanks again so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and definitely subscribe if this was something you enjoyed. And yeah, I don't know what video it will be, but I will see you guys on the next one. Later.